Yeah. Well, good evening, everybody. We've had 2 weeks pass us in the XFL. Woo! We've had.
Answer, do that thing. This is the XFL thing.
We didn't. And all I
Say
can.
the line, Bart.
Yeah, say the line. Oh, right. So let's get this party started! I don't know what the hell you said week 1. I forget. XFL. And I'm not the one recapping this alone. Alongside me, to the top of my logo, we have...
Hello, I'm Nick Man. My team plays at a minor league baseball stadium that's often called one of the worst stadiums in America. I'll leave that information for you to consume and decide how interesting that actually is.
My name is Car Sausage. Caw is the law, and Orlando is in hell. So really, my XFL teams are in a land of contrast.
Yo, my name is Aiden. Well, both my XFL teams have great logos, and they both won, and one of them's undefeated. And the other one, last week they were, if you know what I mean.
Caw!
Alright, so I gotta say, what are your first impressions of the XFL so far? First, what has stood out to you the most?
Wait a second, who are you?
I've already said who am I. I'm the host.
Who are you rooting for?
Oh, the Fire Breathers and the team that should start Kyle Sloter. They should be called our Dallas Renegades. I mean, their logo is basically a fucking D.
Yeah,
Still
D
salty
for
about that.
Arlington.
I'm still salty about that. I am still uberly salty about that.
And the Arlington Cowboys.
Yeah, they really should be. I'm gonna start. I think the thing that's really stood out to me the most is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's genuine passion for these players and giving these guys a genuine chance to get back into the NFL. I think what he is at what's kind of stands out to me the most is that he actually wants to, he's starting the blueprints for a minor league affiliation for the NFL. He's putting the stepping stones there. The XFL is going to be around for a while. You have the right people behind it. And especially think from a year-to-year basis, it's only going to get better. It might look really rough in year 1, but I think once you get to year 2, we're going to be getting some much better, higher-level football, more players adjusting to the system, coaches sort of adjusting to this style of football, and I think we're going to be in for something special for years to come. We just got to sit through those very rough few first years. So that's me with the XFL. They got the right owner behind it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that, and I also look forward to maybe they add on the USFL as like a to where it becomes like the XFC and the USFC, and they're both part of one league. That's a minor league for the NFL. You know, just saying.
It could just be easily a feeder league. It could be a league that feeds cast-offs that want reps.
Or, like, maybe you don't have to go into the NCAA. Be exploited.
Maybe it could be like, I mean, with what you said, like maybe it could be something like, the G League allows players to like you don't have to go to the NCAA. You know, you can play in the G League for a while if you want, and then you can get drafted in the NBA. Like maybe they do something like that. I mean, I'm sure. I don't think. I'm sure the NFL would. It would take a lot for the NFL to actually agree to something like that. But you know, it's not. I would never say it's 100% impossible.
And I will say, Dwayne Johnson has a lot of heart, so I could see him like passionate and being like, "Mr. Goodell, it's about drive, it's about power."
Yeah, I can imagine him in his The Rock voice saying it.
I think one thing I want to add lastly to this point. It's the NFL Players Associations have had discussions, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson's had discussions with the CFL as well as bringing them aboard. But I think the big thing that the XFL needs to do is they need to finish a couple of seasons without controversy, like without being in danger of shutting down.
Yeah, because I mean, everyone knows just how big of a disaster the first rendition of the XFL was. Then the second one, which was actually pretty all right. Unfortunately, COVID said, "Yeah,
The
I don't
fucking
like this."
world ended.
Yeah, the world literally said, "Yeah, we don't approve of this, so we're ending."
But still, I think it was a lot better than XFL 1.0, which was basically, "Fuck you, NFL, we're gonna be edgy and cool and new metal."
Yeah, it's like and also
Typical early 2000.
the fact that the Rock's there makes me think, okay, you know what? If this can go more than one season, I will officially say, okay, these two XFLs were cursed because a McMahon was owning it. That's all I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what stood out to me. So what has stood out to you, Aiden?
I think for me, apart from the fact that this league appears to be, a bit more stable than the previous XFLs, one thing in particular that I think I find interesting is how they've pretty much altered the entire dynamic of extra points. Now there's even more tactical possibilities that can be done with the extra point, and even more things to worry about in terms of coaching and comebacks. So I'm glad that they're willing to experiment, they're willing to try new things, and once again I hope this one actually works, because if this works, this could potentially prove to be an asset for young players who don't quite have it, who are trying, who need one last push to get to the NFL. And also it could also be an opportunity to bring football to markets that either have been abandoned by the NFL or haven't quite gotten an NFL team yet. So I don't know. I just think it's great. It's something that there's a lot of things that it'll do great for the sport of football in general, and probably for American sports in general.
Very nice.
I actually have two things I want to talk about in this segment, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
Thing, but before you get to your two things, let's get Nick Man.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
That's fine. It's like, honestly, it's like, I mean, I guess if I have any takeaways, it's like from what I've seen with the XFL so far, it's like, honestly, like, I'm being real, this has honestly probably been the most interesting version of the XFL I've seen so far. And like, honestly, I'm saying that considering the fact that I really enjoyed the second version of it, but I've enjoyed what I've seen so far with XFL 3.0. Like, just the play is definitely, it feels very experimental, which is really nice. I mean, in the position of the XFL, which is trying to, really just, see what they can do, see what they can, possibly become a minor league system, perhaps. And that's very nice to see, especially you can tell with how the football players are. Like, a lot of them are playing with a lot on the line, a lot on their minds, and it really is. I gotta say, I want to make it very clear. It is great that the XFL also is not afraid to really like mic up players after making a big play, but also just not even big name players or something. I mean, granted, it would be very hard to do big name players considering this is the XFL. But the fact that they, mic up just random players, guys after making a big play, that's really cool to see, and it also shows more the human side of the game of football. And I also want to comment on the fact that I personally love the fact that they literally have the ref mics on even before they announce like a penalty or something. They are literally literally putting the spotlight on them to like, communicate what you are saying before you are gonna do a penalty. And it's like, I honestly would like to see the NFL make refs have their mics on, because personally I feel like that would make for a more entertaining ref ball course for the viewer to watch. And also, I feel like once again the XFL is showing yet again how the NFL can improve their reviewing capabilities, considering you literally get to see guy literally telling them, yeah, okay, you got this call right, or no, you didn't get this call right. So that's some of the main interest I've gotten with the XFL so far.
Yeah, so you took the words right out of my mouth for the first point I was going to make, but I do have another point. What I really seem to be noticing a lot, and this is a positive thing, is that the XFL kind of almost feels like a testing ground for like new experimental rules that might be implemented in the future in the NFL. For instance, the fact that the kickoff is different, where it's like, they don't actually start moving until the gunner has the ball. That's kind of nice. And also they have Greg Schiano's 4th and 15 rule, which is also nice. Maybe moving forward, if the XFL does become a minor league, it can sort of become like a guinea pig for any new rules the NFL wants to try out, rather than just slapping it into the main product. They have essentially a trial run that they can do. Sorry if that wasn't the most eloquent thing you ever heard, folks.
Trial runs are fine. Trial runs are good. It's good. There's an abundance of comebacks that they've kind of been capitalizing on, but it's more of, oh, hey, we finally managed to get something working, and the defense just having no way to respond to it. Whereas this week I've seen more defenses clamp down. Anyways, week 1 has come and passed the first game. Vipers, Renegades. They're both, I got the Renegades. They're my team. And from what I saw, Bob Stoops, can you please stop putting Drew Plitt in? I don't know what you see in this kid. He cannot throw for more than 10 yards.
He's gonna be saying this a lot during this show.
We're gonna be saying this a lot during the show. We're gonna be saying a lot during the stream until I see it. But
of course,
boy,
Vegas, the Mr. Beast team.
And then I Nick, say a piece about the Vipers.
I mean, literally, the Mr. Beast team could literally be described really no better than that, because that's literally like, Vipers dominate the first half. It's like, hey, this is looking very promising. Then the second half, it's literally like they just literally, in the most simplest way possible, they just stopped trying. Like, genuinely, they just stopped trying on offense. I'm not going to shit on the defense, even though, they didn't really have a great half, but even then, it's not their fault that their offense decided to become a literal tortoise. Like, that's literally the speed that was going on with the Vipers offense. It literally turned into a freaking tortoise. It's like, just so many bad decisions, so many, like, literal giveaways It's like, I mean, there's a reason I said the Mr. Beast team is literally the best description of it, because that was literally what the Vipers were doing best in the second half, just giving away every possible chance they had of winning that game.
And that's what's the classic thing that even just in the NFL, what they teach guys. It's why most teams, they do lose. They turn the ball over way too much. They lose the battle of turnovers. And the Vipers, they lost the battle of turnovers. And I would have expected a lot more from Luis Perez. He's a guy that's been around the AAF, the XFL 2.0, the USFL. He's been around and he knows a lot of things. Maybe it's the system he's working with is just not, they're not putting things together. I mark this off as just kind of like, every guy has like their very off day. Everybody has their bad days. But, when you see things click, when things are clicking, Vegas is a good offense just when things click. And the Renegades, you look at the Renegades where just things don't click. And you just take advantage. Oh, hey, here's 2 pick sixes. Those are hard to come back from. And they kind of just stood no chance. At the end of the day, they gave the game away when they really should have won it. They got to focus on playing just a clean game of football, and they could be a really good team. But right now, it's just they're making way too many mistakes on offense. All right, next game was the Guardians versus the Roughnecks.
Oh God, here's something you're gonna hear a lot. Jeez, the Guardians are so bad. Like, come on. Like, they might be like the worst team in the XFL. Just exactly.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. The highlight was their first drive of the game. That. And even then, that was an interception. And at least with that one, even Dean Blandino can make fuck-ups when calling plays.
Yeah.
That's what I got out of that game. Even Dean Blandino makes mistakes. But go on.
No, that's about all I have to say.
Really? I mean, Cody Latimer, he's probably their best player on that team.
Listen, I don't want to have to talk about this team more than I have to.
I know. I actually have a lot to say about their Week 2 performance. If their Week 2 performance is anything, I totally know what the hell these fucking guys, what this team is. And it's, oh boy. But anyways, Aiden, what'd you like in the Roughnecks this week?
So, I'm gonna say this about the Roughnecks. We're going undefeated.
Yeah, I could buy that. I believe that. The Roughnecks just adjusted to their opponent, and then they blew the game out of the waters. And also, fun fact, Paxton Lynch is the first quarterback to be benched in the NFL, CFL, USFL, and now the XFL. I really wish he was in the AAF so he could have gotten benched because he would have gotten the 5 stars achievement. But congratulations to Paxton Lynch.
Yay.
Yeah, congrats to him. And then we have the Battlehawks versus the San Antonio Brahmas, and I'm gonna recap the first. Let me recap the first 58 minutes. They got a field goal. Back to sleep.
And allow me to recap the last 2 minutes. Oh my God! Hakeem Butler touchdown! Yo, are we doing this? Yeah. we're going for it on 4th and 15. We're actually doing that new Shiano rule. Oh my god, it's happening! Touchdown! Oh shit! And so on.
I'm gonna go ahead and pretend that I'm the Brahmas during that game. That's pretty much what they did. Congratulations, you've just become a meme.
My one concern is I don't think that the Battlehawks with AJ McCarron is their guy. I really don't. The man went off the field, but on the field... Well, he didn't do anything for 58 whole minutes!
Yeah, but he did shit for 2 minutes, and it's the 2 minutes where it counted, motherfucker!
I know, but you guys really miss...
And if it wasn't me, and if it wasn't my team, you know, you'd be talking about, oh my god, he's so clutch, he's such a good guy.
No, I would look at other QBs other than AJ McCarron.
So that might be what I'm doing. Sorry.
Fair enough. But, one of the rules that I really liked was it shows that what a 4th and 15 can do. An alternate onside kick looks like. And it's incredible. It looks amazing. And the NFL should absolutely implement this in. This is without a doubt probably one of my favorite changes. I think they really need to allow... It would increase the chaos factor.
I agree.
And give more teams like a real chance. But I also would easily understand if the NFL just looks at this thing and they go, nah.
I will say...
I'll let Nick finish.
I was gonna say, if we're talking about that, like that alternative, like the 4th and the 15, you know, your conversion and stuff for like the alternative to the onside kick. My only thing with that is, if you're gonna do that, better make a rule saying, okay, we're gonna do this, but like the only time you can do it is when you're trailing, because if not, I could definitely see teams like the Kansas City Chiefs finding ways to find a loophole in that and just get every fucking possession if they wanted to, if they're that damn good.
Well, no, it's only when you're trailing. It is only when you're trailing, and only in the 4th quarter.
All right.
So, I mean, my only concern with it is that the NFL looks at this and they go, nah. I mean, because the real defense is that you should have been playing well for the first 58 minutes of the game and not be in a position where you need several drives just to come back and win the game. And that's the only reason why I would understand the NFL just doesn't do it. And there's a good point that I've been looking into. And it's just... Again, as much as I love comebacks... You should have been playing well for 58 minutes and then try and make a comeback while being down 2 scores with 2 minutes left to play.
My response to that is, shut up, nerd, we won!
Nerd! But no, it shows how nice it can do, and it's a massive chaos factor. But I think there's going to be too many games that are going to have to be heavily reliant on this rule. Like, especially when you're down 3 points, you score a touchdown, you get the ball back right away to win the game.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I'm like a little bit iffy on that. I'm pretty sure the NFL is going to try and tweak it to make it a nice, if anything, they're going to make it a nice addition. But outside of that, I can see why the NFL just would not add it. It's the same thing with reviews. They're not going to review pass interference. They're not going to review roughing the passer. They're not going to review any of those because they honestly don't need to. Ref ball is going to be a part. It's the RNG aspect of football. Is the script on your side. If not, sorry, it's a skill issue. But I like to see what the NFL would have liked to try to adapt some of these and see it play out at the NFL level. I think it'd be kind of fun, but it's just a big wait and see. And then we got the Sunday Nighter, the DC Defenders versus the Seattle Sea Dragons. And I'm gonna grab this my phone here. Oh, I fumbled it at the one. Oh, darn. Oh man.
How many times is this gonna happen for the?
I dropped my phone again. Oh, darn. I just fumbled it away. What you gonna do?
I have something to say. Don't mess with beer snakes, security guards.
Don't mess with the beer snakes. Do not fuck with. Here's the thing. The one thing that I was like, Sunday night prime time in DC, I wanted to see beer snakes. They were big in XFL 2.0. Do not take away their beer snake. Especially when the cast makes a big deal out of it. Beer snakes.
That being said, Victory Lemons is a good consolation.
No, do you want fans to pelt lemons on the field? No, that is dangerous. No.
Counterpoint, it's cool.
You're right, but nobody should be throwing stuff on the field.
Safer than glass bottles, at least.
It is, but nobody should be throwing anything on the field. Respect the field. But don't take their beer snake away.
I'll just say, like, regarding the game, it's like, yeah, that was... I talk about, like, fun, like, the XFL 3.0 being fun. It's games like that I am talking about.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean... Josh Gordon catching a nice touchdown, a nice flip by Ben DiNucci.
Yeah.
It's drives where they have like an actual plan and they practice it a lot. That makes it shine. I think we're gonna get a lot more good plays down the season.
Yeah, I agree with that because honestly, as far as that game was, not gonna lie, the quarterback display in that game was not exactly the greatest.
It was not. It's the second you put Ben DiNucci on the side, like kind of a lot of their momentum was just taken out of the offense, and it just was very different. And I saw this a lot in the USFL where they were trying, you're doing good, but then you see what the other guy has, and your whole offense is just thrown off. Yeah, I mean, as much as they say, you want to, if you're switching quarterbacks, it's got to be a permanent thing. You can't do this flip-flop, right? You can't flip between how quarterbacks, you can't flip them. And as much as I want Drew Plitt to sit the sideline, I've seen enough of Drew Plitt to say, all right, bring in a guy who I've seen a lot of in these types of leagues over Drew Plitt. But I digress. But then Ben DiNucci went back in, tried to put stuff together, just couldn't do it. I think Ben is probably it is a tie. But I think Ben DiNucci is one of the better, at least top 3 QBs playing in this league.
Yeah.
He can move the ball well. You just got to clean up those mistakes.
Yeah, and then he did the Super Bowl 49.
Yeah, they did a Super Bowl 49 where they tried which is why you run the ball! What are you doing? Just run the ball! They did a Seattle tradition, which is a big turnover at the 1-yard line when you could have won the game. So, old habits die hard, I guess. But it still's a good game. It still's a fun what the XFL could all be about when stuff gels together. I think, especially with this week, it was seen as mostly preseason. These guys, this is their first game that many of these guys have played, probably since their last game in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And coaches are just trying stuff for fun. And I mean, I want to say this, but you got to take your jobs more seriously than this. I feel like there is lack of preparation. The defensive cover, the DBs, they stand in front of wide receivers. Incomplete pass. What great coverage. They're not really doing much, but hopefully it gets more cleaner, as you can see, but this is more rough than watching college football, and that
Yeah,
says
agreed.
something.
I don't know. I like it.
I like it. It's good, but there's a reason why it's gonna take time. I think with these, I think we'll go over the summary after. But week 2, Thursday night football, Sea Dragons versus the Battlehawks, and all I gotta say is, I fumbled the ball.
Hey, thanks for
darn.
the ball. Thanks for the ball, dude. That was a very nice. That was a very nice gift.
Chip on the ground again. Oh man.
That's a very tasty chip.
I did it again. Oh man. Aren't I such a
If only you had a good. If only you had the hands of AJ McCarron. He's got steady hands.
All I can say is, maybe this game could be a good idea, could be a good incentive for the XFL to allow stick-on.
Exactly. But hey, I think what's one of the really things that's just kind of really fun is when teams go for 3, which the Sea Dragons have attempted the most attempts going for 3. My favorite ones is where the Battlehawks defense was like, Josh Gordon's wide open. Should we do something about it? Nah, it's Josh Gordon. Making the easiest catch of his life. There's a lot of good guys. I think they need to try and get a run game going that doesn't result in fumbling the ball. Please? I'm begging you. Outside of fumbling it, they looked better, I want to say, but this is a team on a lot of short rests. Thursday games, when you transition from Sunday to Thursday games, it is more different. And I looked at the schedule. The Sea Dragons play the most games on a Friday or Thursday than any XFL team. That's probably scheduling conflict with Seattle Sounders and the Seattle Mariners, because we actually want to care about the Mariners. We care more about the Mariners. But it's it was a fun game. It was a fine game. You just wish you'd clean up mistakes. And again, this coach went 6-0 for the Roughnecks. I hope he figures it out. Or he went 6-0 in like the other minor league, the other football league. I don't remember. There was like 6 teams and he went undefeated in that. I hope these guys can figure it out. You got to figure out your receiving core instead of, why don't we just let everybody play? UFL, yeah. Rather than just, letting everybody play, figure out your receiving core. It was a little bit, kind of ironed out, but I still feel like this guy is just playing everybody, which is, it's okay, but you got to figure out, which guys have the most real shot at making it into the NFL again. And if hopefully it's more of their answer. Hopefully they're not dressing 9 wide receivers. We'll see. We're going to see probably more of their backup, a mix of backup and Benucci. They're 0-2, so they're going to be trying a lot of different kooky, wacky things because, they're at Seattle. And hopefully, again, play a cleaner game. And, most of these players, I hope the biggest lesson that they should be learning is you play a clean game, you're going to win these games. If you play a messy game, sloppy game, you're going to lose these games. So that's what I kind of got out of Seattle.
The big thing I got out of St. Louis, just dog. Yeah.
W. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, anything else you want to add? Nothing? All right. Next game, we got the Vipers versus the DC Defenders. Both of these teams are yours, Nick. What do you like?
Game was literally, the kindest words possible. That game was sloppy as shit. Trying to eat a sloppy Joe is honestly cleaner than that game was in terms of just sloppiness. Like, first off, to start off the scenery, you are playing at one of the worst minor league ballparks in the nation. And yes, I said ballpark because Cashman Field was made to be a baseball stadium, not a football stadium. Well, that's already a red flag that this game is going to be a sicko masterpiece. And you add rain. Yes, it's in Vegas, but right now Vegas has been getting downpoured with rain for a good while now. You add that to the mix, and that with the shitty ass stadium and with the shitty ass turf, and you get a freaking masterpiece. A masterpiece of low scoring and honestly pretty shitty football. The Vipers, yeah, that offense has not gotten figured out yet. I mean, you replaced Luis Perez with Brett Hundley, and we didn't see much of a difference. I mean, granted, yeah, it's pouring. It was really rainy, but even then, not much really positive to take away from that. If you're the Vipers, I guess some highlights were literally the kickers falling down. Like this also goes for the defenders, just literally the kickers slipping and sliding while trying to make kicks. That was pretty funny. Meanwhile, for the defenders, yeah, there was a quarterback change. Derek Kane got the starting job after Jordan didn't do too well. And I mean, passing wise, not so great, but running wise, he did excellent. Got multiple rushing touchdowns, and that was huge. That was basically all that DC needed to beat the Vegas Vipers. So, my main takeaway from that game is this: DC is the better team. They got a very strong team going with them. The Vegas Vipers are, in the kindest words, this team needs to figure shit out. And Cashman Field is a fucking shithole that should be demolished. That's my three main takeaways from the game. And personally, very interested in seeing how DC does next week, considering they are playing the Battlehawks at home. So that should be a very interesting game because both teams are 2-0. On the contrary end, however, the Vipers are playing the Seattle Sea Dragons at Cashman Field. So yeah, 2-2 teams playing in a shithole of a stadium. That's gonna be one hell. That should be a very funny. That's gonna be funny. That's gonna be tangible sicko matchup. You'll love to see it if you're a sicko like we are.
Hold up,
But yeah, it's on, Nick.
Yes.
Damn it! It's not prime time. It's Saturday. I work. Fuck.
Oh, you hate to see it.
Oh, I was hoping that would be the Sunday night prime time one because that is just. No, we won't be able to do anything about that stream. I'll have to borrow Spencer for watching that. Ah! Dang it! Alright, that's fine, but it's the most sick of. Here's the thing. I don't know why there's no way that Las Vegas was not literally the only option to have a team hosted. I look at that, I see it's a high school field. Like a really bad, like not even a good one. Like a really bad one. Like I'm seeing like rain in the dugout area.
Yeah, that's been a problem. Sewage has been a problem over its history. So
God, why play a football? Oh, ew. I hope that is something that they change for next year because.
Here's the thing. I'll say the backstory. It's like, yeah, I know that the Raiders wouldn't let you use Allegiant Stadium. I know UNLV wasn't gonna let you use Sam Boyd Stadium, but like at this rate, it's like I'm getting really confident the Vipers are just gonna be in Vegas for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting really confident in that.
Move them to San Diego. Move them to California.
Just move them to Sacramento, so that they can light the beam.
San Diego or Sacramento, that would be like just at the very least, just get them a stadium that's not fucking shit.
Agreed. All right, and then for the Sunday slate, we got the Orlando Guardians versus the team that completely walloped the San Antonio. Sorry, the San Antonio. Good lord, San Antonio Brahmas walloped the Guardians. Hey, what do you have to say about the Brahmas?
All right, so I gotta say this about the Brahmas. They can pass the ball. They can definitely pass the ball, and you gotta say You love to see it, unless you're a Guardians fan.
I'm in hell.
So yeah,
You got
I'm
anything
gonna be
other to
honest.
add than I'm in hell?
No, I think that'll about do it.
Alright, well, here's what I noticed. The coach is fucking clueless.
Oh yeah.
He is clueless.
Oh yeah, Terrell Buckley. He had one goddamn play in his entire playing career, and he somehow spun that into a goddamn coaching career.
Like, I don't get how, again, this is kind of where they kind of like a couple black eyes with the XFL, where it's just, I mean, they'll fix it. It's fixable, right? Like playing in Cashman Field, fixable. They'll fix it for next year. Having this guy coach this team, like, I'm listening to some players that are mic'd up. They're like, "Hey, yo, do we adjust? Are we going to do any?" Players are like, "Hey, what are we doing?" To the coach. The coach is telling him to shut your damn mouth. And this guy is clueless. Even because again, you can consistently just substitute players. I get that you're frustrated that you're doing everything in your power and nothing is working.
Like, I get it. Your roster isn't good, but a good coach elevates a bad roster. You know,
He couldn't even elevate a good roster. He couldn't elevate a good roster. This man would ruin Patrick Mahomes right now.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me finish that. A good coach can elevate a bad roster, and a bad coach can snuff out a good roster.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's not a good roster, and you add the fact that this guy is not even should be a head coach. He's got no leadership skills whatsoever. He's got no idea what he's doing.
Adam Gase would unironically be a better head coach than this guy.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Adam Gase would be a way better head coach than this. You're not wrong. He is absolutely better. Adam Gase would be better suited. The Guardians are lost. You don't even know who your quarterback is. You don't even, like, the only thing that is decent is Cody Latimer. That's it. You got guys on defense that are like, what are we doing? You got offensive, you got everybody doesn't know what they're doing. The guys are trying to give suggestions and the coach is like dusting them off.
I'm the vaccinator, bitch. You don't fuck with me.
It's all bad. Like, I've never seen, like, I've seen a lot of these second tier football teams, and not a lot of them have been as lost as the Guardians. The Guardians are just lost. They're lost. That's the thing. You can't be lost when it comes to football, playing games. Because even a clock is right twice a day. These guys, it feels like the clock is wrong all day long. I don't know. They have so much to figure out, but like I said it last week, is the Guardians are easily like middle tier, or they're easily the worst team in this league by a long shot.
I think they go 0-10.
They could go 0-10 and have a minus 100 point differential. Like, they've given up 30 points in back-to-back weeks. Most teams, the other games, the most highest score has been 22. Like, for both teams, they've been close, like, gutsy defensive plays where you're just waiting for offense to do something. The Guardians can't figure out the base principle of playing the football. It's like they've literally got a bunch of random dudes, threw them together, and say, go play football. And this is what we're seeing. Like, they would get creamed by UConn.
I'm not even sure, with how much intelligence he's shown, I'm not even sure Terrell Buckley can count to 10. That's how lowly I think of.
Oh, it's bad. Guardians are bad. But promise, man, the offense looks really clean. And again, if the litmus test for offenses is playing the Guardians and every team looks good playing against the Guardians, the Brahmas, the Roughnecks, and the Renegades are going to look really, really fucking good. Only when they play Orlando and very average everywhere else.
So the Orlando Guardians are to the XFL South what the Cleveland Browns have been for the AFC North for years.
Yeah, but that's just an insult to the Cleveland Browns because even they managed to wallop the Patriots by 50 points.
Yeah.
If anything, they are. What's like the greatest comparison?
Well, before this season, the Sacramento Kings in the Pacific Division of the NBA.
That's
Yeah.
true. I was thinking Sacramento, but Sacramento's kind of turning it around right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're turning around now, but before
Easy
that, they were
turnaround.
basically the whipping boy of the Warriors, Lakers, Clippers, and Suns.
And all you need is like a good coach to really guide the ship. That's all you need. Like, it's fixable. I mean, they'll be bad for this year to get the first overall pick, and then they'll figure their shit out next year. There's still a couple things. There's still a couple things to sort out, but it's all fixable in the off season. Like, this guy should be dismissed as a head coach like right now, but I can understand. There's just 8 more weeks left. They'll be the worst team, and then let everything play around them. So, just a couple eyesores that are obvious, but you know. What you gonna do? We all said the Guardians, even for betting odds, they were like 1 in 4,000 odds, or like the money line was like 4,000 something. They were easily like the worst odds going into this year, and they're the worst odds, in week 2.
And hey, speaking of swapping, the Guardians did a bit of swapping around garbage time, from Paxton Lynch to DeAndre Francois.
Francois looked better because he could move ball. But not that much better.
But that's like saying the shit I took this morning was better than the shit I took last night.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically. And the last game! We had the Arlington Renegades and the Houston Roughnecks. This was Can we please start Kyle Sloter? I mean, realistically, both quarterback play was bad. We watched the full game, and it's fresh in my memory. Both quarterbacks were fucking bad. They could not throw the ball for more than 10 yards. Except when Brandon Silvers, who threw the ball for exactly 10 yards, and the receivers did all the other stuff with it, because, you go into zone defense, and QBs can read into that a lot more. Oh boy. Please start.
They're probably gonna.
Sloter. Please, I'm begging you, Bob Stoops.
Hey, what do you?
I think the Roughnecks are gonna try and do like what the Niners do and just rely on Yak and the run game.
Yeah. Good old.
Hey,
Yak.
tell me what you think about the head coach.
He's Bob Stupid. Bob fucking Stupid. Amazing. The defense, they played very well. They kept the game in check. But once you had to have Drew Plitt do something clutch, the man doesn't have a clutch bone in his body. He doesn't. I think about it, there would have been a perfect time to put Kyle Sloter in. It's a perfect time. You clearly see Drew Plitt's not working out. The guy threw for 110 yards. 0 complete. He went 0 for 10 on passes over 10 yards. The man can't throw for just 10 yards. Other quarterbacks in this league, they can throw for 10 yards. Drew Plitt can't. I don't know what you're seeing in this kid, but he is not a starting quarterback in this league. Maybe there's 16 teams. Maybe. It's rough going, right? But it's god damn. This guy can't play quarterback. Please give me Kyle Sloter. Other than that, Wade Phillips is a really good defensive coordinator. Stopped us all game. We went up 14-11. I was like, oh shit, we might. Oh wait, never mind. It's Drew Plitt, our starting quarterback.
Oh great! It's Drew shit.
Yeah. Yeah, Drew Plitt is my mortal enemy now.
Well, he's the arm plit of quarterbacks.
Arm Plitt. This man can't
Arm
even.
Plitt.
This man can't even throw arm punts. He throws arm Plitt.
This is literally we are talking about. When we are talking about this, we are talking about 2021 Ben Roethlisberger levels of just checkdowns.
Hey, that's an insult to Ben Roethlisberger's levels of checkdowns. I mean, occasionally Ben might have overthrown those. This guy would underthrow them. This guy is an insult to checkdowns. So, oh boy, I hope we make the quarterback change, because if they were to because again, they're playing in a tough division. The only benefit is they have the Orlando Guardians that they can dunk on. So games against the Brahmas and Roughnecks are critical, important. Like, you have to win those games. You absolutely have to, especially since Arlington's considered to be one of the better teams in this league. You kind of have to, kind of figure it out. Enough of this preseason mumbo jumbo. Get it done. That's what I got. They got to figure it out. It's not Drew Plitt, ain't it? This guy can't play quarterback. Aiden, do you have anything to add about the Roughnecks and about Brandon's? Oh, wait, you didn't see this game, did you? All right. I'll do.
Yeah.
Okay,
actually, let me.
Oh, did you see the game or did you miss it?
Well, I watched a few clips, but unfortunately, for the most part, I missed it. However, from what I could see, like I said, the Roughnecks are probably gonna go for the yak, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, yak and rushing, and it seems like defensively they're solid. And I may have been premature of they're gonna go undefeated thing, but I trust that Wade Phillips is able to coach. Will they be able to coach this team to be better than the sum of their parts?
Nice. A thing I want to know about Brandon Silvers, a lot of those plays, because you see these plays happen where these quarterbacks throw the ball up for the receivers to make plays. In the NFL, they're going to be completed probably about like 7 out of 10. Here is like 1 out of 10.
Yeah, that is true. Not everyone's going to be the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, it's not that. It's just regular NFL plays. Like, if you see, let's put Kirk Cousins and throwing it to Adam Thielen for like one of the plays where it goes for more than like 15 yards. You can rely that Adam Thielen and Kirk Cousins is able to make some sort of a connection downfield. I had to pick these two because they're kind of like the same, but kind of like just an average NFL play. This is what I think of for like comparison for like a middle ground play. It's really hard for XFL teams just to really get that down, and they really should start practicing those types of games, because those are the types of plays that NFL scouts are going to look at. Because, yeah, sure, you can catch a ball 5 yards and then try to turn that into a first down. That's fine, but we've got lots of guys who do this check down. Where are you when you get 15 yards, big game, stuff that moves the drive along? That's what we were talking about, like 3rd and longs. Even hell, 2nd and longs, right? If it's like a 2nd and 14, can you catch a 20-yard pass? Can you connect that? Can you connect to that? These guys been struggling and have been unable to connect that so far.
Yeah. I think one thing I've learned from the XFL, we often take for granted just how people in the NFL like pass and catch, how good they are at that level.
Oh, exactly. Like, the amount of talent and skill and concentration that these players have is astonishing. It is incredible to see, because it's like art, right? You can tell when you're watching a sport just at a different level, just how slower the game just comes to them. Where the NFL, it is boom, 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 done, 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 done. because these guys are not only they're freak athletes, but they're very dedicated to their craft. They're not just coasting on talent anymore. They're training ridiculously, putting their peak physical bodies in like the best. It has to be the best shape it's been in their lives, and they mix that all together with practice and communicating with their quarterbacks, communicating OCs. Everybody's talking to each other on the sidelines, trying to figure this out. And most of these plays,
Except for Terrell Buckley.
Except for Terrell Buckley, who tells guys to fuck off and figure it out. Let him figure it out, right? And a lot of it is coaching. I mean, you can see the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, how he deals with, these guys are fairly average at the level. But you can see what kind of practice and dedication it takes to just make these medium plays that, they go for a good amount. And heck, some of these plays are the difference between field goals and touchdowns. And it's going to take time before they get to work. But there are going to be lots of practices needed. And then I'm kind of curious about the guys that stay in the USFL, what that's going to look like. That's because I think because now I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, could the USFL maybe not be as bad as I thought it might be? Especially if guys are sticking around for a year or two with the same coach. Is it going to be better? Or is it going to be, it could easily just be the same?
Yeah.
Is that about it for...
It's about it for what I got for the recap for week 2.
Hang on.
Yeah,
I think I'm hearing something.
All right.
Will the Carolina Panthers please come to the principal's office? Carolina Panthers to the principal's office. Thank you.
And here I thought your mom's new boyfriend would set you up straight. You were doing so well. All to get torched by Tom fucking Brady. Let us sit and discuss. This team is my favorite team. I loved every single move they've made in the offseason right now.
Agreed.
They are in the perfect position to
almost
land a Josh Allen type quarterback and nurture him to a full-time, to a massive starter in the NFL. They have the coaching staff to do that. The $1 million question, does the owner have the patience to listen to the GM and coach saying, hey, this is a 3-year plan. It's going to take 3 years. But he is going to get there. It's just going to take a while.
I do want to say this about really the coaching and stuff, and mainly ownership and David Tepper, because obviously David Tepper received a lot of criticism, and rightfully so, for the whole Matt Rule debacle. Hiring some, really just the inexperience really showed. Matt Rule going from college to the NFL, and that massive contract, and it ended up backfiring in just about every way possible. So how does David Tepper respond to this? Well, coaches he ended up hiring, not just coach with Frank Wright, but coordinators and stuff, assistants and stuff, a lot of it was experience. And that's something that the Panthers coaching staff has been desperately needing. You look at guys like Frank Wright, Jim Caldwell is a senior assistant. That's a nice assistant to have, Evero, who was the Broncos defensive coordinator last season, one of the only bright spots of that Broncos team. That's a nice hire at DC, getting Thomas Brown for OC, Josh McCown, obviously a quarterback's coach, which is a hiring for Josh McCown that makes a lot of sense. I've liked a lot of what Carolina has done this offseason so far.
And they poached somebody who I think has been a really great coach for the Detroit Lions, their new assistant head coach and running backs coach, Deuce Staley.
Yeah, Deuce Staley. Yeah, that's another good one.
But they hired Dom Capers as their senior defensive assistant, so...
I mean, it's the senior defensive assistant. He's not running. He's probably giving, advice.
Yeah, and they got D'Angelo Hall as assistant defensive backs coach.
I absolutely like what Carolina's doing, and they got the picks to sit, or they have enough firepower to move up, to move up.
Yeah. I mean,
But
obviously, I feel like the one thing Carolina really needs right now is honestly probably just more offensive talent, to be honest.
oh yeah,
What they need is time.
they'll
Yeah.
have time. Even then, even with the project quarterback, right now, I would not be surprised if they made the playoffs. They have the
Yeah,
number
especially
one. They have a
considering
good
what
number one
the
wide
division
receiver.
is.
Their division is horrid. It is just flat out just ugh. It's a nightmare that you don't. It's a nightmare that's an insult to nightmares.
The only move I'd consider making is get rid of Pat Elflein because they're about $4 million over the cap.
Yeah, they'll make moves. Again, remember the salary cap's a social construct. They'll make moves. They'll make moves. They'll make a lot of moves. They'll make a lot of good moves.
Well, it's a social construct until it isn't.
Yeah. I mean, if you're 4 million, there are worse things to be over the cap for.
The Saints are
Right.
learning that the hard way right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, they spent years saying the cap. They spent years saying the cap ain't shit, and now they're paying
shit.
for it hard.
Well, because the thing too, there's a difference between where the Saints have been over the cap many times, where if it's just $4 million, they'll make moves, they'll cut guys, they'll restructure contracts, they'll get it done. They'll get it done. I wouldn't worry too much about it, especially when they don't have Baker Mayfield. They won't be paying for Sam Darnold. Even then, right? Bringing Sam Darnold in for one more year is not the end of the world. Like having him kind of protect the rookie quarterback that they're going to hopefully get in this year's NFL draft. They're going to be able to get, I hope that they stay in, they're probably likely to get the third best guy. I think they're in the right place to let him grow, let him develop, and you're going to see what you have. You're not going to trust the third round guy you picked this year. He's not going to get a chance because you now have an actual chance to bring in a guy who has a higher ceiling. Or there's just something that we all just haven't seen. And that does happen too. Maybe he's studying extra hard. Maybe they might say, sure, we'll give him a chance. But you got to be right on your QB because especially in the NFC, the power for new teams to take hold in the NFC is wide open. There's no dominant team left. I thought it was going to be the Eagles, but they're losing a lot of key free agents this offseason. So it might not even be that simple. I want to simply put it as the Eagles being the favorite. But they've got a lot of work to do. And they easily could be the dominant power force for the next 10 to 15 years. But as of right now, they have to do, be the top team in the NFC again. Kind of that thing first. But in NFC, it's wide open. Take advantage. Take advantage of it, fellas.
All right. I'm very excited to see where you go. I don't mind if you come back to the office next year, but
let us see that you're in the right direction. We'll be patient. Hopefully your owner is patient too. Now get out of here, you little rascal. Get out of here, you little...
And don't trade your running back to the Niners.
Oh, don't
Because
worry.
it always
It turned out good for you guys. All right.
he turned out good for us, but not good for Carolina.
And next up
It's
is a
time
little
for my favorite segment. Spencer, take it away.
Yes, it's time for America's favorite segment, as a matter of fact. Why? Come! No! IKEA! Yes, it's Why Come No IKEA, where we find American cities and find out why the hell they don't have an IKEA. And today's location, Cleveland, Ohio.
I love it cuts off at the end every time.
Fun times
All
in
right,
Cleveland
Spencer.
again.
How come Ohio Cleveland does not have? Why no IKEA?
Well, I looked it up, and apparently they have been working at getting an IKEA since 2005, and it would have been in Brooklyn Heights, Ohio. But in 2016, plans fell through, and they were just like, "Fuck that! You get an online pickup store, which is basically a warehouse where they say, fuck you. Here's your IKEA shit. No meatball. Please leave." And their consolation prize, there's now an IKEA in Columbus.
Oof.
Oh, oof! They don't have an NHL team and they don't have an IKEA. That's totally based.
Truly
That
the
is-
two signs of civilization.
That is 100% based. Oh, the fact that Clevelanders. I know you guys have a garbage football team, but you know what would help that sting? And just Ohio State in general, when you guys lose to Michigan every year, as when you know meatball, you can walk through your, and when you exit first round of the college football playoff, you know. At least you guys can walk through IKEA and just get lost and have kids try to find their dads in there. That's the point of IKEA. But oh boy, I you hope you guys look at an IKEA one day. You little rascals.
Tune in next week where we find out that other cities that don't have an IKEA.
Yeah.
All
Alright, and lastly, we have our XFL Pick'ems for week 3. Oh, good lord, I haven't kept track. What's my record? Because I picked the Sea Dragons. They took an L. I picked the Brahmas. I picked DC. And then I picked the Renegades. So I'm 2-2 this week. I think I am 5-3 for pick'ems. I think I'm 5-3 for pick'ems this week.
I think I'm actually 8-0.
Oh, you're not 8-0. I think Spencer, you're 5-3.
Well, I was 4-0 on this week.
Yeah, you're 4-0. I'll just go.
Trying to look because I don't know what exactly I am.
We'll get a tally for later. But anyways, week 3 pick'ems. I'm gonna use lightning round. I'm going with the. Oh god, we're getting a great tank. I'm going with the Sea Dragons getting their shit together. I'm gonna go with the DC Defenders, Arlington, and I'm gonna go with the Roughnecks.
Alright, I'll go next. I got the Sea Dragons beating the Vipers. I got the Defenders beating the Battlehawks. I got Arlington beating Orlando. And I got the Roughnecks staying undefeated.
Hey, twinsies!
Nice, based.
Alright, so I got the Sea Dragons beating the Vipers. Because, Las Vegas continues to be Mr. Beast's team.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Battlehawks because Caw is, in fact, the law. And the week after this is the St. Louis home opener, which I can't believe it actually took this goddamn long.
Yeah, that's an L.
But I
That's
digress.
an L in XFL schedule makers.
Yep.
Anyway, after that we got Arlington beating Orlando. I mean, it should be easy for the Renegades, but again, this is the Renegades.
Mm-hmm.
And of course I got the Brahmas Country riding on the Roughnecks.
Ooh. So you got the Sea Dragons, Battlehawks, Renegades, and Brahmas?
Yeah.
All right. Aiden, lastly, who are your pick'ems for week 3?
All right, so the first one would be the Sea Dragons finally getting their stuff together. For the second one, I'm gonna go Cause the Law and pick St. Louis. Next is gonna be relatively easy. Arlington sends Arlington sends Orlando to the Shadow Realm. And finally, I thought about this, and I was really tempted to say that the undefeated streak would be over, considering how the Brahmas have been great in terms of passing. But you know what? In a game between two of my teams, I'm gonna pick the Roughnecks simply because I trust that Wade Phillips would be able to find a way to scheme around it and stifle the Brahmas high flying passing attack. So yeah.
Oh, I'm the only one picking Brahma's country. Let's ride.
Aiden's the only one that picked the Battlehawks. Oh wait, no, you picked the Battlehawks. You picked the Battlehawks. Yeah. We'll see what happens. We will be live for the Brahmas and the Roughnecks. We will be live for that one. And until then, we will see you all next Sunday.
Yeah. See you next Sunday.
We'll
Hope to see you then.
Yeah, we'll see you next Sunday for the live watch along, and then probably more focused on previewing. I think we're going to preview the free agency period if we have interesting stuff. If not, we were going to have to wait a week for that.
But one more thing, we got some fan mail from Tristan.
Shut up! Nope. See you next